Okay, we are good.
All right. Get the giggles out. That's funny. Good afternoon, Dr. Larson and Dr. Mustafa. This is our week 3 assignment 2 on leadership plan for Mr. Simmons, Mr. Reeves, Mr. Clark, and Mr. Mosier. Next slide, please. This is a breakdown of the assignment details, and this slide is the table of contents. So, first topic we'll be discussing is recognizing the past, present, future of Carbon Peak. What do you believe to be core competencies required of leaders at all levels to achieve the company's vision and mission? In recognition of the past, present, and future needs of Carbon Peak, I believe 5 essential leadership competencies have been identified as critical for success. These competencies encompass strategy, strategic thinking, inspirational leadership, change management, diversity and inclusion, and ethical decision making. Each of these competencies plays an indispensable role in propelling the company's growth and ensuring its sustainability within a rapidly evolving landscape. Strategic thinking. Leaders must anticipate future trends and develop proactive strategies. Carbon Peak needs to anticipate the future industry trend and develop proactive strategies that aligns with long-term business goals. According to Schumacher, Kropp, and Holland, 2013, leaders who excel at strategic thinking can better position their organization to adapt to market shifts, technological advancements, and evolving customer needs. On inspirational leadership, the effective leadership requires the ability to inspire and engage employees. Cousins and Posner 2021 emphasized that inspirational leaders align their teams with the company's mission, foster motivation, and encourage collaboration. At Carbon Peak, leaders must lead by example and cultivate a workplace culture that promotes trust and enthusiasm. And change management. In an industry that is constantly evolving, effective change management is critical. Coder 2001 argues that leaders must drive organizational transformation while overcoming resistance to change. Carbon Peak leaders must ensure that employees are equipped with the necessary resources and mindset to embrace the change, work towards continuous improvement. On the diversity and inclusion bullet, diversity and inclusion are no longer optional, but essential for fostering innovation and competitiveness. Valcourt 2020 highlights the importance of creating an inclusive culture where diverse perspectives are valued and integrated into decision making. By embracing diversity, Carbon Peak can unlock creativity and attract top talent. And on ethical decision making, ethical leadership is a foundation of sustainable business. According to NICE 2023, leaders must ensure integrity in all operation, build stakeholder trust, and uphold corporate responsibility. At Carbon Peak, they must prioritize a responsibility, ethical decision making to enhance a reputation of maintaining long-term in energy sector. Next, we're going to pass the presentation to Brent.
Thank you, Stefferly. So what is the overall goal of a leader through the alignment process? The primary goal of the alignment process for a leader is to ensure that all team members, departments, or organizational units are working towards the same shared vision and objectives, thereby guiding them to a collective success. To achieve this, you must first have a mission and a vision of the company. This allows you to define its purpose, provides direction, communicates values, and motivates employees. Without a goal of the company, what's the reason for its existence? What expectations are your employees trying to accomplish? Next, you should effectively communicate the mission and vision of the company. This creates a shared understanding. By engaging in constructive conversations, you're able to gain input. This makes team members feel included. Collaboration builds trust, trust builds unity, and unity fosters accountability and enables people to act. Next, ensure that everyone is on board. Understand where each member sits. What are their strengths? What are their weaknesses? Are there tasks that ought to be better entrusted to those team members who are best suited to complete them? In his book, Good to Great, Jim Collins explains that the key is to get the right people on the bus in the right seats and the wrong people off the bus. When you ensure that everyone is on board and willing to cooperate, they feel a shared stake in the outcome. One hole can sink a ship, so make sure that everybody is on board. Next, define roles and responsibilities. Clearly defining roles and responsibilities sets clear expectations. To feel capable, people must continually improve and develop their skills and abilities. Individuals may lack confidence, fear mistakes, or just lack relevant job information. By setting expectations, you have a chance to build confidence through teaching, coaching, and mentoring. Next, set expectations and create measurable goals. Research shows that employees who set goals feel more connected to the organization. Distributing goal responsibility across the team fosters collaboration and accountability. Next is to foster collaboration. As a collaborative team, it's easier to identify and address issues. Teamwork fosters a sense of alignment and psychological safety, empowering us to be vulnerable and seek support. By offering empathy and suggestions without judgment, we can help strengthen one another. Finally, it's to empower teams to make decisions. When team members trust their peers and managers, their decision-making becomes more positive and productive. Providing opportunities for team members to contribute freely, make choices, and innovate fosters this vital trust. Be sure to consider diverse viewpoints and draw on expertise and abilities of others to make team members feel valued. Trust is a reciprocal process, and collaboration and decision-making cannot exist without it. From there, I'll go ahead and pass this on to Jason.
Great. Thanks, Brett. So what are the next steps that the Carbon Peak needs to do to help lead it into the future? As Stephanie talked about initially, and Brett went into more detail, first they've got to define their mission. Dr. Larson, you've said, and certainly we've read about a lot, is having a clear mission and vision statement, where the company is going to go, and how you're going to get it there. Mateus and Sophia both, agree that the current growth may not last, changes may need to be made, which is a great first step. But without defining what that next one is, they could be lacking. So next is they need to define their financial goals. It was great that during the pandemic, they reached into their coffers in the war chest and kept the company afloat by empowering their employees. They certainly developed trust with them because of that. And trust, as we know, is vital importance to leadership. One of my favorite, very simple quotes from Cosner and Posner is Causes and Posner, is without trust, you can't lead, as I paraphrase that. But truly that is a great place to be. And without a financial, healthy, stable point from which to jump from, the future is going to be in doubt. So talking about future, their next is they've got to allocate resources to research and development. They had a great first mover advantage with their carbon fiber frames, but without investing in research and development and looking for that next new thing, they're again going to find themselves, lacking in the marketplace. And with that, how do they get into the marketplace? Is they need to hire a social media and digital consultant. They had good first mover. If you'll go to the next slide there, Brett, please. There we go. Prior to the pandemic, they were in a great position because they already had a digital footprint, the outdoors as a service. And I think they would both say that was a great advantage they had going into the pandemic when people were, dying to get outdoors and really was a was a great shot in the arm to a lot of outdoor activity companies. But they're going to have to increase this. They're going to have to stay in front of it so they can keep up with the market and then, hopefully reach new customers. Our next suggestion is they hire a CEO coach. So one of the things that they are lacking in is leadership, and specifically senior leadership. Mateus and Sophia both grew up in the company, which is great. They both know their certain sectors, but neither of them has had any grooming for senior leadership or actually running a company. So using a coach, much like their fathers did, would be a great help. Unlike their fathers, they don't need it really to referee their opposing views, which Tony will talk about here in a little bit. But it's really just from a coach standpoint. The old Army adage, know yourself and seek self-improvement, and then also having them do Strength Finder or Predictive Index strengths and weaknesses would be beneficial. And with that, the next step is they're going to have to drive organizational transparency. So as they're both have their different strengths and weaknesses, being able to delegate those duties will not only help them in their relationship, but it'll really help clear things for employees. As we talk things about, inspire a shared dream again in the book, Everyday People, Extraordinary Leadership. We know is paramount to help people move forward and enable others to act. So thank you, and I'll be followed by Tony.
Thanks, Jason. Let's consider the role of company growth, employees, customers, and profits. What is the role of the leader in assessing and balancing these needs? When you look at the 2 bullet points, role of the leader is multifaceted and critical to the overall success of the organization, and that a leader must navigate the complexities of these interconnected aspects while ensuring the company remains sustainable and competitive in a dynamic marketplace. When you examine multifaceted and critical, and remaining sustainable and competitive in a dynamic marketplace, Sophia and Mateus, in this 3rd generation of Carbon Peak PSG, are meeting those standards. Through research and development, they've developed a new carbon fiber material. They're venturing into new business ventures, such as the service industry, repairing of the materials that they sell, in addition to setting up ventures or trips to the outdoor markets. They're also enlisting their employees to be a more vital and crucial part of the organization as it moves forward. And they've managed their way out of a horrific pandemic, COVID-19, and managed to keep the company sustainable and now profitable. When you assess the balance and needs of a leader, there's a few things that pop up. Establishing a clear vision, which is really trust. If you look at Stephen Covey's definition of trust, which is trustworthiness times trusting equals trust, the definition is that trust is only achieved when someone is willing to extend it to the other to be trusting. That is certainly something that they've done with their employees coming out of the pandemic. Fostering a work environment where employees feel valued and motivated. There's an article titled Social Intelligence and Biology of Leadership by Goleman and Boyatzis. When you take a look at that, it refers to social intelligence. The skills of social intelligence would be empathy, attunement, organizational awareness, influence, developing others, inspiration, and teamwork. All of these have been achieved by Sophia and Mateus with the current generation of Carbon Peak PSG. Understanding customer needs to drive profits and sustain growth is something that they implement every day. Leveraging data analytics to assess performance of departments. Being adaptable and open to change through R&D and customer markets. Encouraging collaboration across teams and departments. Interdependence is something that they practice and preach at Carbon Peak PSG. And then what's the large impact of the decisions that they make? And ethically, social responsibility, environmental, definitely are key attributes that they bring into consideration with any decisions that they make here at Carbon Peak PSG. So they're hitting all the bullets for company growth, employees, and customer and profit for certain. And through all those metrics, they're definitely leading the company into the next generation. And with that, I'm going to pass it back over to Jason so he can summarize everything.
Great, thanks, Tony. So the last one here to talk about is what's the best way for them to align people, resources, and performance so they can actually achieve their goals and strategies. As we've talked about, first, they've got to clearly communicate their vision and goals. They're going to have to update employees on progress. They're going to have to set KPIs. They're going to establish SMART goals. Next, they're going to have to foster a culture of accountability and collaboration, building on the trust that they've already encountered with their employees. They need to develop mutual agreed upon process and procedures, and as always, inspire a shared vision. Next, implement regular feedback loops, performance reviews, challenge the process, and enable others to act. They're going to need to leverage technology for data-driven decision-making, also their social media footprint. And lastly, they need to develop leadership programs so they empower managers. They need to equip leaders with skills to coach and mentor their employees. And with that, gentlemen, thank you for your time, and we appreciate it. 15 minutes, 40 seconds.